Welcome back to my channel. I haven't actually filmed my vlogs for a while now. I kind of actually hopped back onto Instagram after a few months on and off, partially just feed scrolling on my computer and posting whenever I wanted to, like obviously re-downloading the app and then deleting it. And honestly, I hate to say it, but it sucked me back in pretty easily. Like I think easier than I expected. I think I was like, I worked hard at this break. I didn't really feel addicted during this break. So like, why did it suck me back in so well? I think it's because there's so many buttons on Instagram. There's messages, carousel posts, reels, stories, and the list goes on. And obviously you're also scrutinizing your own profile, and it's just a lot. Old habits really do come back easily sometimes. And I feel like I just sort of like went back the same way as soon as I said to myself, let me test what it's like with the app on my phone again. We will see if I feel like I need to delete it in the coming weeks, but for now I'm still going to keep it on and see how well my brain adjusts or doesn't adjust. Anyway, I just had a great long weekend. So it was the King's birthday, public holiday yesterday. So we had friends over, same group of people who came over 9 days beforehand. So I'm so glad that they trekked it back here. And the weekend was really busy but fun as well. Like we had a mixture of friends and family events. So that was good. And basically I am just feeling a lot more sprightly than I was in my last vlogs. As you guys know, I went through some tough times the past couple months, and I basically was just really stressed, and I had the acne and it's faded a little bit right now, and I literally just was not in my right mind. I was actually so moody, annoyed. I just felt really helpless, and I felt at times honestly also ungrateful. Like I just felt like there was nothing to be thankful for. And now I feel way better mentally, and I hope that it stays that way. My year is also about to get super busy. Like I have a bunch of weddings that I'm involved in, so there's like a lot happening for winter and spring. So I need to gear up for that. Like I am honestly not prepared. Later this month, Bill and I are actually doing a road trip as well. We actually never travel. We've only ever done road trips with just us. And so this is one of them. And basically we are going to a really tiny town and there's basically nothing there. So hopefully it's a really cozy, wintry getaway kind of vibe. And honestly, it's only a couple nights, but then we also took a couple work days off too, just to like spend time together. So hopefully that's really nice as we gear up for July, August, September, October, which are definitely my busiest months for the year. And then it's finally November and then already December. So like the year actually flashes by so fast when you think of it and compartmentalize it like that.
Would you give us one more chance to do something? Yeah, I think.
Whoa. Happy Monday. I wanted to talk about this book I finished, which is What's Life All About by Scott Petty. If you're an Aussie Christian, you might recognize these little black books. Literally, it's a series of really short books. I think I just finished this in less than half an hour, and I thought it was really interesting because I've read some of these series when I was in high school, and I always found them really easy to get. Like, I'm personally not someone who can deal with most old literature books. Like, this was written in 2010, so obviously I actually get it. It's written for Christians, but I feel like it also has really good descriptions for any non-Christians who are also interested in what the Bible says about life's meaning. So I thought I would actually just skim through it with you guys because I just feel like it's a nice element to be putting into these videos. Like if I find any forms of media that are interesting and have something that I think are important to know as humans, then I want to tell you guys. There is a book in the Bible called Ecclesiastes where the guy just says that everything is meaningless, like the author. And that's one of my favorite books because I remember discovering it when I was younger, and I've always been a very like purpose-driven person. Like without God, I would just be like, what is the point in life? So obviously being Christian suits me. And basically when I read the book when I was younger, I was like, jackpot, I can't believe the Bible talks about how everything is just like whatever in the end, because everyone dies and you can't bring anything you possess, like a house or money or clothing, to heaven. So literally, what's the point? So I'm really glad that that book actually exists in the Bible. Solomon, who is the author, goes on to just be like, first of all, work's meaningless, because even if you spend your whole life building up wealth, like let's say you own a business, you eventually have to give the business to someone else unless you shut it down, in which case obviously meaningless. But like, even if you passed it to someone else to be your successor, that person could actually just ruin your business and therefore all of your life's work anyway. So like, what's the point? So talks about how work has no point, but then people are like, okay, work is meaningless, so what about play? Because it's kind of like work hard, play hard, you know, I may as well just like try and do at least one, if not both. But then Solomon also says, yeah, I've drunk wine. Yeah, I have planted vineyards. I have also got a lot of gold and silver, but I also don't like anything I've done. So I guess like if you're the kind of person where you get stressed and say you go on a shopping spree to feel better, like you know that what you buy during your shopping spree isn't going to actually change your life for the better. You know, it's just like everything, work and play are both actually not very beneficial to our lives, in the end, at least. So what I like about this author is that he's also very balanced, and I believe the Bible and God are also extremely balanced. So it's a good reflection, because it doesn't mean that you don't try and find a job you enjoy, and it doesn't mean you don't do things like holidays for fun, having kids, hanging out with friends. Obviously, you try and enjoy life as much as you can, but you kind of just know that it's not the end all be all if anything fails, because you can't take anything with you to the afterlife anyway. So it's like, there's no point, but also have a good time when you can. It also says that death is what balances everything out. No one can avoid death. So who are we as humans? Like, just what is our role on this earth in that case? First of all, it says we're made in God's image. Like, we're different from animals. We're actually seen as more important than them. We are designed to have relationships with people, whether that's romantic, family, friends. Like, we are here to love and be loved on earth. So basically, one of the first things that we have to admit as humans is that God technically does own us. And I know that in this very self-love world, like, everyone gets a little bit offended these days. Like, I can't believe that there's like this God out there that Christians talk about where he like controls my life. Like, I control my life. How dare you? But I mean, he made us, so technically he does own us. And it says that he loves us and also declares us as good people. So basically, he sees us as a good part of his creation. I mean, obviously all his creation is good, but like, he really genuinely loves us as humans. Like, we're elevated over nature, animals. We were designed to rule for God. Like, we're designed to kind of be like leaders in this world and to try and make the earth a good place. Even though we're sinful, humans are still meant to be leaders in this world, because like, some people talk about the order of events in the Bible and like how we were made perfect, but then sin came into the world, and they kind of think, oh, the whole instruction about being leaders of the world is now redundant because we're like bad people. But the truth is that God still wants us to try and fulfill our leadership roles on this earth as best as we can, and to try and still take care of his earth, be his ambassadors, and just try our best to be as good as we can, even though we're sinners. So then it talks about how, yes, we are all sinful people. Like, none of us can avoid doing bad things, having bad attitudes, bad habits. But we are all saved by God's grace because of Jesus dying on the cross for us. Obviously, that is the crux of the Bible. So I've talked about that in my videos before. And basically, being a moral person isn't enough. Like, you do have to believe and trust in Jesus. It's not just about like, oh, but like, I wouldn't murder someone. Like, it's not just about morals, because anyone who's not religious can be moral. And then it also says that no one is better than anyone else. Basically, you can't judge someone for being like a worse sinner than you. Like, pretty much all sin is the same to God. So you can't be like, oh my goodness, I only struggle with lying, whereas you tried to murder someone, so you're so much worse. Like, actually, in God's eyes, it's pretty much just all disobeying him. And then basically, because of Jesus, we're not defined by being sinful. We don't have to look at ourselves and be like, I really need to put myself down. Like, I am such a horrible person, because we have Jesus, who has made us look like we are clean in front of God's eyes, ready for good works. We are sinners saved by grace, therefore we try and carry out good works while we are on this earth. And it doesn't mean that being a Christian is all about being good and only doing good things and like, oh, I'm going to go to heaven because I'm so good. Like, it's not about that. That's a very big distinction to make. But it does mean that we obviously try and be good over trying to be bad, because like, why would you try to be bad? When you're a Christian, you're just part of one big family within your church, and you should like try and be a part of a Christian community. So your family upwards, aka you all look to God, you all learn from the Bible. That's why we have pastors and church leaders and all that. But we're also family across, appreciate every member in our church communities. We try and listen to them, care for them, like we really see them all as one body, as 1 Corinthians says in the Bible. And we all have responsibilities, we all have talents. That's why within churches you have like music team, social media team, cooking team, whatever it is, like you're all in this together and you're all trying to serve one another. And then it also finally talks about being a citizen of heaven. And basically it talks about an Egyptian saint who like apparently kind of isolated himself like centuries ago and was just like, I want to low-key try to die because I just want to like meditate on God's word every single day and pray to him every single day and live like a really desolate, homeless life and then like just try to go to heaven ASAP. But this book says, okay, there's a balance. Like we still carry out whatever duties we have on this earth, whether it's like being a parent, an employee, a business owner, like whatever we just do in normal life. Like Christians are not like really wacky, weird aliens. Like, okay, yeah, we know we're going to heaven, but also we need to like still kind of be normal on earth. This book says that, you know, we just carry out our days and get on with life on this earth. We try and be a blessing to society, like we try and do the best we can in everything. And that is basically how it explains what life is all about. So I would highly recommend this book. I was like doing my skincare before and the doorbell rang twice, really fast, one after the other. And I opened the door to a bunch of little kids. They looked like 7-year-old boys in school uniform. And they were like, excuse me, what's the time? And I was like, 3:02. And they were like, thank you, and walked off. So cute. I forgot what it was like to be at an age where you just like don't have a phone and you're just like trying to get home on your own, I assume, and you just like need to know the time. But I hope they're safe because they seemed pretty young to be heading home themselves. I thought I would do a fun segment where I'm packing for me and Bill's winter getaway. A lot happening and a lot that's gonna go on and is already going on. So I am just trying to not be overwhelmed. This one, which is really cute, but the top is a coat. And in my case, I'd be using this beige coat to try and match. So I'm not going to count that. I'm actually just going to pack shorts and stockings because in the winter I'd wear something like this with stockings. Like I'm the kind of girl where I don't care if it's shorts with stockings, I just do it. So I'm just going to get shorts, and I have these high-waisted black ones, obviously made for working out. I own a couple in case one is in the wash. The corset top, mini skirt that I've been wearing as a strapless top for a long time now, and off the shoulder black top with a polka dot skirt. I'm actually wearing my polka dot skirt right now. So I'm not going to count that. I'm going to take another photo for bottoms inspiration. The closest top I have is this. It kind of emulates the same fluffiness of the sleeve. So I feel like that suits, is just more lacy, obviously. So that's gonna be the next top. Black pants. My black pants with white stripes. The other half is gonna start with this, which is a white top with a patterned skirt. The closest top I have is this. It's cream. You can kind of wear it semi off shoulder and I really like it. I actually only just got it from my friend Annie, so shout out to her. She's the best clothes giver ever. A patterned skirt. The best one that I have is this one. It's part of a set, so it's very summer bohemian vibes, and I've never worn it not with the matching top, so may as well just bring this along and see how it looks. It's just a white tee and a white skirt. Here's my white tee, my I Love New York one. I found it in my family wardrobe. I don't know if it was my mom's. I have this silk one here, which almost matches the one in the Pinterest photo. And now we're also going to get a comfy outfit just for the Airbnb, just for lounging, because all of these are not very comfy vibes. Obviously, my most comfy outfit is going to be trackies. These are the only trackies that I own right now because I like to only keep one of one type of item so I don't hoard. Comfy lounge top, I'm gonna wear this one that my dad got me from Africa. I've just gotten undies, socks, a beanie that my mother-in-law gave me, and then this can be my PJ set. I always use old tops as PJs in case you're wondering. PJs do not have to be aesthetic like you see on socials. And then these new PJ pants that I actually just got from Target. And also a jumper, just because the PJ top I'm bringing is short sleeve, so just in case it's really cold. Let me show you guys one of my pet peeves with the Pinterest app. Basically, I like to delete pins once I have used them for something, because otherwise, what's the point of mood boarding? Then it goes back to one of my more recent pins. And basically, it like goes to my suggested pins. Like, this is my actual mood board, but it goes down here. And it takes a while to load the rest. Like, this is actually really near the top of my mood board of my more recent pins. And basically, it's really hard to like go back. Like, you have to refresh and do this, and then they'll start forming here. So you can see they just started appearing. And I can't delete multiple at the same time. Like, I know Pinterest wasn't really designed for like deleting right after you've quote unquote used a pin, but it's just, I wish it was more like user friendly for people like me who like to kind of be like, I'm done with that one. Let me just delete like 4 in a row, because obviously I just used like 4 bits of outfit inspiration. Anyways, Pinterest team, if you are somehow seeing this, please fix the app, because I always have to scroll all the way down. While I'm packing, since Bill is in a meeting, I thought I would catch up with you guys, because I used to make so many of these vlogs, and obviously this one so far has been many choppy days put together because I went back on Instagram. Definitely know my mind still sees Instagram as the most addictive platform. If I somehow die young and die unexpectedly, then I hope that this can be a place where people can kind of relate every time I rant, or just relate to little things in like the more daily mundane activities that I might vlog, and just like have fun with my content. Why not? What's orange like that? Like an Asian thing.
A bit brown. Milk tea.
Yeah, what country?
Thai.
Yeah, Thai
milk
milk tea. It's so good, right?
It tasted really familiar, but I couldn't tell what. I couldn't put a finger on it.
I think that was my favorite because it's the sweetest.
I think I still like the pandan one more. Because the pandan is very prominent. Whilst this is like mildly a milk tea. Like milk tea is a very mild flavor to begin with. But the pandan's like,
True. My period is absolutely taking me out. I have felt like throwing up. I've been shaking. Meds aren't working. So I wanted to not have my contacts and makeup go to waste, even though I actually did do my makeup about 5 hours ago now. It's like faded. And I also stupidly didn't bring my base products, so foundation plus concealer, to my family home, which is where I'm sleeping over at tonight. And that means I also cannot cover my blemishes tomorrow for my team event, but it is what it is. I also still think I did an okay job with enhancing my features. I followed an Instagram tutorial, which I sometimes like to do. So I wanted to show you guys my makeup. Here it is here. Ironically, with the light shining, you can see my pimples easier. So you can see why I rely on base makeup a lot, but didn't do brows. I just did a really eyeshadow eyeliner, as you can see, maybe the faded black like that. I always do it messy because I don't have double lids anyway. I did a bronzer using highlight as usual. I also did a blush using actual blush powder for once. I did have lips, but I have eaten ice cream and dinner since, so obviously it's faded, but this is my makeup. It was very simple. Just wanted it to not go to waste because I'm so big on if I put effort in, I want it to be seen in some capacity. So I'm also skipping Bible study because I felt like I could not stare at a Bible and concentrate during a discussion with 10 people in the room with me. I just feel like the pain already overstimulated me today. So the plan is to hang with my mum, shower, go to bed early, and head out for the office tomorrow morning. This is also my old teenager, young adult room, in case you guys have noticed. If you're a long-time viewer, you will recognize this room. It has become my mum's storage, in case you haven't noticed, so it's almost unrecognizable. But I am back here. I actually visit my family fairly often, and this is my second night sleeping over since we moved out. So I am going to have a quiet night in. Bill actually still went to Bible study. He dropped my brother's girlfriend and sister off there as well because they all have different groups going at the same time. So they're all at church right now. I'm just going to rest, chill, and hope that the pain is not there for my team event tomorrow.
Sidemen team going now? All right.
I'm really procrastinating cleaning the house here. We haven't actually had guests for a fortnight. Have a couple tomorrow, so definitely need to try and get everything done, but I just have zero motivation. I'm on day 4 of my period, and this morning I was thinking, oh my gosh, finally no cramps, even though I still have quite a bit of blood. But then my cramps set in and I'm feeling okay right now. I was actually about to take painkillers, but I think I can hold out for a bit longer. Bill's in his meetings, and I have just been finding it really hard to see the mess and be like, yeah, let me go clean. Like, I just don't want to. It's literally the last weekday of this week, and I just like cannot get myself to get moving. And this week has just been so busy. It's been a good one. I definitely haven't had a bad week by most means, but I just don't feel like doing much when I just don't feel great physically. Anyway, I have not been enjoying home because we actually slept over at my family's middle of the week, and the next day went straight to the office. So we were out almost all of yesterday, and then we only just got back to our house last night. And everything has just been a little more chaotic than usual because usually I'll have a nice kind of like start of the week mostly at home besides errands. And then the second half of my week onwards gets busier with the office and weekend. But this week was a little different. It felt like that busyness began early. Like, I think the only day we had at home was actually Monday. So it just feels like I have not been enjoying the space like I usually would, hence why it's also really messy. And I just don't want to pack up and clean. I just cannot get myself to. So eventually I will. Just wanted to rant about how I don't want to do it, which is obviously wasting the time that I could be doing it. But hey, me as a Gen Z who'd rather talk to a camera than clean my house. It's Saturday and I am actually home alone for the first time in a long time because Bill and I do so many things just together. And I know I sound like such a husband's girl, but I do feel a little interdependent on him. Like, it's weird not having him here. He's at a good friend's Bucks night, so obviously he had to go. But I am just like sitting around. I've been reading and called my mum, also got ready, makeup and hair, which is a little extra. But the plan for tonight is that my relatives are coming over to discuss their wedding. They're also coming with takeaway dinner.
Did you get a meal again?
You had the medium.
And she said,
I've been home alone and Bill's on the way back now. So I wanted to talk about the book I just finished. It was really profound and deep. It was about death, and the author was a pastor, so he has been by the dying's bedside a lot. Personally, I saw my grandma pass away, which I think is definitely a privilege, and I saw my grandpa maybe an hour after he passed. Not really sure how much time actually elapsed by the time I got to him, but I did see him just the night before on Christmas Day. Anyway, I obviously have a lot more death to face in my future. I'm only 25. I have been to a bunch of funerals, but a lot of them were for people who were elderly or family friends that I didn't really have a personal relationship with. There's been a couple that have been extremely sad, including a family friend I did grow up with who passed away as a tween, and another who actually passed at the same age, whose funeral I went to only really on behalf of my mum. That person I didn't really know, but obviously young deaths are the worst. They suck. One of my dad's friends and mentors also passed away from suspected suicide. He basically was listed as a missing person for a year, and after that year elapsed, they basically held a funeral for him. So that sucked too. One of 2 times I had seen my dad actually like fight tears and be tearful. So intense. Death is scary. Death comes for us all, whether it's sudden or not, and it can be really confronting for everyone. And I have friends whose parents have passed, many friends who've experienced things like their grandparents passing, and then obviously you get like the most tragic of tragic, like a child dying, which none of my friends' kids have died purely because most of us are not planning to get pregnant anytime soon. But just like things like that to look out for, and thinking about how to actually deal with death is something you're not taught in school or uni. You kind of figure it out as you go along, and depending on your faith or maybe lack of faith, it's really hard to know how to act when someone has lost someone and is just going through such a hard time. So I think this book was so wow. It was very in your face. It was very painful. There was a time I teared up thinking about a small kid who died and their parents' description of how that happened. Like, apparently he saw angels and he was speaking out loud, and that is insane. I definitely believe in those sorts of visual experiences when the person's between life and death, because apparently my grandpa, when he was having his last weeks, told my auntie he could hear people singing hymns. And he said the choir sound was loud as, and my auntie was like, you're just in your bedroom, on your bed, there's no choir. Hence, I think people should be facing the topic of death, whether you feel ready to or not, whether you've experienced loved ones passing away much. I think this is a great book. It was actually published early 2000s, so I wonder what it would say if it was written in today's day and age, like whether he would change anything. But it actually had so many examples as well of just people he's seen or stories he's heard. And that was the crux of the book. It wasn't all to do with, let me throw this religious lingo into all these descriptions and be like, Jesus loves you, Jesus is always with you. It really delved into the pain and suffering people go through, whether they are witnessing someone die or they're dying themselves. So it had all these different perspectives, people who died as a kid or baby or old age or disease, like whatever the circumstances. He described so many types of deaths in this book. And basically the chapters include fear, despair, losing a baby, childlike spirit, readiness, suffering, courage, healing, grief, so many topics. And yeah, the stories that are just included in this book are insane. Like, as a pastor, the author must have just met so many different people in his life and heard many stories even from others if he never met them himself. And they were just so profound and so significant. Like, I think it really takes the whole topic of death. Yeah, death is scary, but here's how to deal with it. Here's how I've seen people deal with it in its stride. And I'm just impressed by this book. I am actually going to pass it to my mum, who expressed interest in reading it. So that's why I thought this review was all the more important in case I never see this book again, but highly recommend.